Hey everybody, Kills Mom here doing a video. I've already done my brows, as you can see. Applying some Elegant Pro Concealer to my eyelids just to cancel out my color and make my eyeshadow have something to stick to. Using the Morphe M134 Buffer brush that I bought at Nash Beauty to blend in that concealer there. Make sure it's seamless. This color is going to act as my brow bone highlight as well. So I'm just buffing that in there. And make sure that all of the lines are gone. Next up is my Nicka K Matte 23 Perfect Eyeshadow Palette that I purchased at Diamond Girl. All these shades are matte. It's a very pigmented shadow. I'm using my Morphe M134 brush, also purchased at Nash Beauty upstairs, Computech. I'm going to take these two light shades, mix them together to get a very nice, subtle, but bright brow bone highlight color. I'm going to blend that all in. This brush is very soft and we can use it for packing on shadow as well, but I prefer to use it to apply softer looking shadows. So we're just doing our brows still. Why does that clip look like it was doubled? Anyway. Next up is my tapered blending brush from Jessup. Purchased at Bella Rose Retail at Russell's Cinema. I'm applying that brown shade to my brow bone and I'm just blending it in. This is not the color that I want for my smoky eye. This is just a lighter shade that is going to help me merge my lightest shade and my darkest shade together. So I apply that to the area where these two shadows are going to meet, so there is no obvious lines of demarcation. Yes, that's my lovely husband making noise in the background, but all of these things are expected when you don't have an expensive YouTube studio. So I'm just doing that same blending motion on the other eye there, and as you can see, this shade is closer to my particular skin tone. I like to use this color transition shade because I don't go very dark with my smoky eye, and I use a lot of shimmer shadows on my lid. Anybody can tell you that I love a shimmery lid. So now we have our small tapered blending brush from Bella Rose as well. It's a Jessup brush. This one is going to help me blend my darkest shade, but it's also going to apply a bit more pigment than the previous blending brush that I used. So the fluffier the brush is, the more diffuse the color is going to be. Right now, because I'm kind of creating a crease with this darker shade, I'm using a fluffy but more dense brush. So I'm applying that concentrated on the outer corner of where I want my V to be, which is my smoky area. I'm not gonna bring the smoke in too much. When you bring the darker shades too much into the inner corner of your eye, you actually make your eyes smaller. So for you girls who have bigger eyes out there, a very nice halo eyeshadow shape is excellent for you because it cancels out inner corner and the outer corner with just the middle, giving you the right amount of pop. With my particular eye shape and my particular eye size, I love to do that very catty smoky eye. Now I'm taking my Nicka K eyeshadow base in white. Also purchased that Diamond Girl. I'm trying to use a lot of products that you girls can get here in St. Vincent because I know, being in a makeup world, not a makeup artist, not a makeup guru, not a makeup anything, just loving makeup and applying makeup on myself, I know the struggle of getting good products here in St. Vincent. It is not easy. So I'm trying to make it easier for you girls, especially those of you who are now trying and those of you who are not interested in spending their entire salary on makeup, very affordable products. Diamond Girl has some really affordable products. Nothing I've used here is over $25, except for my brushes, of course, because that is an investment. So here, after applying my eyeshadow base, I bought my Icon palette. This is a Nickel K shadow as well. It's also from Diamond Girl, and that very lovely dual-ended brush that you see me holding there, that came with the palette. And I'm just gonna take that shade Gilded, that golden shade Gilded, and I'm gonna apply it in the middle. The reason why I'm applying the shadow in the middle first is because I'm gonna apply a very light color in my inner corner and a very dark color in my outer corner, but I want to create a very nice transition. So I start with my mid shade, and then I will apply those other shades and blend them out so they overlap each other. Now I am going in with Ballet, which is the lighter shade in the palette, and I'm going to apply that in my inner corner. Now you don't have to use these particular shades, but you can use this particular technique with any similar shades or any palette that you particularly like. You start with the mid-range color, you apply it in the middle of your lid, then you go on to your inner eye, and you apply your lighter shade, and then for the outer corner you're going to apply your darker shade, and you can use this and get the same gradient effect that this eyeshadow look is going to achieve in the end. I particularly chose this eyeshadow look because it's very outgoing, but at the same time it's very classy and subtle. If you don't know about matching your eyeshadows to your outfits, you can wear this eyeshadow look with basically anything. If you're interested in going to work with it, you can go to work with it, and you could go to the club with it. That's the darkest shade that I'm going to be using there. I'm going to just pop that on my outer lid, and I'm going to apply this in a sort of V shape because I want to maintain that very sleek cat eye look that I've already created using those darker shadows on my outer corner. So I'm going to do that on the other eye. And we're just going to make sure all of that blend. It's okay to pass the brush over the colors that you would have already placed there. I'm going to take this short shader brush from Jessup. Once again, these Jessup brushes were purchased altogether, 15 brushes for about $115. I can't remember, but I think it was $115 for about 15 brushes. $10 a brush. I mean, come on, that's basically what you pay at Diamond Girl for brushes of lesser quality. But anyway, I'm going to take that, and this brush is going to apply concentrated color because it is short, it is dense, and it's a shader brush. Anything that's a shade, it's meant to put on, pack on eyeshadow. So I'm going to just darken that outer V right there, but I don't want any harsh lines. So I'm just going to take my my blending brush, and I'm gonna blend that as well. There is no extra product on this brush. It is just what was there. I'm just blending it in because I want a smooth transition. This is the brush from the Icon palette. There's absolutely no product on the end of this brush. All I want to do is create smooth lines. So I'm basically using this to buff any harsh lines that were there from the shadows from before. And I think I'm satisfied with what I'm seeing. We're going to move on to the next step. You can see that I have serious hyperpigmentation. I never had acne as a teenager. I never had acne as an adult. But, you know, when you get a little older and things start going haywire, your body starts changing. And that's why I have acne. I'm going to use my liquid liner. This was also purchased at Diamond Girl. And it has a marker tip. I particularly don't like them. I like the bristles tip, or the feather tip as you will call them. But this is what's available in the country right now. I've tried looking for my LA Colors eyeliner that I have always used. It was $5 at Fred Day. And for some reason, I'm not getting the liners anymore, only the mascaras. So I have to make do. So that was my wing there. As you can see, I started on the outer corner. What you're trying to get is the effect that your eye is extended. So you're going to take it right from the bottom of your lash line. You're going to carry it up, and then you connect it to the lid. I'm using my LA Girl Pro Concealer to clean up that line. Even if you don't have a mistake, I always like to put the concealer there because it just sharpens it, because it gives that, you know, slight color. that slight highlight underneath the line. Yes, I like how that's looking. So I don't have any drugstore or beauty supply store foundation, but I do have this total coverage concealer foundation that I use from Black Opal to do my brows. But I love the consistency of this particular foundation. If you have oily skin, do not, I repeat, do not use this foundation. It is a cream based foundation. Even if you're gonna do your brows, I wouldn't suggest that you do your brows with this concealer if you know you have oily brows or oily skin. It is very oil based. It is thick and oily based. As a matter of fact, most Black Opal products are oil based. I know the liquid True Color foundation, they claim that that is water based, and it is. It has less oil and more dimethicones, meaning there are more silicones in the product, but I don't think that you get the same coverage from the True Color. I'm speaking for somebody who has a lot of pimples and a lot of hyperpigmentation to hide. You don't get the amount of coverage that you're looking for from the liquid foundation. I know there is a total coverage True Color liquid foundation, the one in the black tube. I have tried that. It transfers like crazy. I'm telling you, I should be able to pat my foundation and my tissue is still white. With that foundation, if you pat your foundation, half of the foundation comes off on the napkin. And I am not about that life where you're wearing makeup and it is everywhere. It is on your walls, it is on your clothes. I don't like it. So if my foundation is transferring that much even after I've set it, I don't want it. So I like the True Color, the stick. The stick is very good, but I didn't have the stick at the moment. The stick is also very thick and creamy and oil based. Not a very good product for people who have oily skin. I would suggest if you're gonna go with any foundation from the Black Opal line and you do have oily skin, try to use the cream to powder one and still set it with a powder. I mentioned that in my Insta snaps that I did the other day, that if you have oily skin, not every foundation is for you. If you have dry skin like me, I can get away using these very thick creamy foundations because they actually moisturize my skin and extend my makeup wear because I don't have cracking and creasing. But if you have oily skin, the only one from the Black Opal line I suggest that you use is the cream to powder. You put that on and you still set it with a powder, especially if you're gonna use your mattifying primers. I know there's one from Black Opal. I'm not quite sure if Diamond Girl stocks it, but I know Accessorize Plus has a Sasha mattifying primer, and that works extremely well. Now I'm just gonna set my under eye with neutral light in the Black Opal Deluxe Finishing Powder. This is a lovely translucent powder because it has those little specks of shimmery iridescent powders in there, and it gives you that airbrush finish, especially when you're taking pictures, etc. Now, when I place this under my eye, this is what I usually use to set my foundation on just, a regular day if I don't feel like packing on my dual foundations from my MAC. I will set with this particular powder because it's a really good setting powder. But when I use it under my eye, I realized it didn't give much highlight that I was looking for. And I told you already that I hate using the LA Girl Pro Concealer under my eyes. It settles into my lines, it creases, it makes me look 50. So I was not about to put that on, not even for the cameras. So I just decided to set my entire face using my neutral light. I'm going back in with my eyeliner, and I am going to now connect that bottom lash line. I would have applied eyeshadow under there, just the same two shadows that I used in my crease. And I'm gonna go in with a brush. Sorry that I'm out of focus here, but I'm just gonna go in with this brush and I'm gonna blend it out. I am gonna smudge that eyeliner so it gives me that very nice gradient effect without any harsh lines. So it gives the illusion that my eyes just extend into that very sharp feline cat eye shape. Now this intensifies your cat eye and it also intensifies your wing. So you girls don't just have your skin hanging there. You know, merge the colors into one. You want seamless transitions. You don't want obvious lines and you know, color differentiation there. I'm just going in with my black liner. I'm not going on my waterline. I usually use white eyeliner on my waterline. I learned that trick from Tennille Griffith. She's a makeup artist in Barbados. She was a MAC makeup artist, but she branched off and now she is doing freelance makeup. And she is lovely. Her makeup is flawless. And now I'm going in with my mascara. I hate to see this on the internet. Ugh. Putting on mascara should be the most sacred thing a girl does. It's not pretty at all. But I'm going in with my CoverGirl Lash Blast Black Mascara. And I am just packing it on. I'm telling you, there's no such thing as too much mascara. And because I didn't particularly like the fact that my highlight was not highlighted enough, I decided to go with my BH Cosmetics palette. Now, this is not available here in St. Vincent, unfortunately, but I know Korea has a lovely dupe for it. It's called the Beauty Treats palette. Abian, victoriously Abian on Instagram, she used it. She said that the palettes are pretty good, and I trust her word, but I've never particularly used it. I know of people who would have used the LA Girl I Heart Makeup contour palette that's available at Diamond Girl. It has the same basic colors, the yellow and the white and the peach powders used for highlighting and contouring. So I guess you can use that under your eye. Now this is for people who don't want to go through the whole step of cream contouring and all of that. You can powder highlight. You just have to look for a very light shade, probably 2 to 3 times lighter than your regular setting powder, and just apply it over your powder after you set your face. Now my very fancy brush available at True Value. Yes, it's a poly brush. It's used to apply resin and other things. I've heard people say that they use it in their craft to apply glue, etc. Yes, it is not a makeup brush, but I learned this from a drag queen who I used to follow on YouTube. You learn all sorts of tips and tricks from those gals, you know. And I learned this one. And I'm contouring my nose and then I'm contouring my face. Now, when I went in with that BH Cosmetics palette, I forgot why I stopped contouring with it. The dark is so gray. And I particularly don't like gray contours. I don't. I prefer when my contour looks bronzy and very, rich, as opposed to this very dark gray color. I think it's more for people who are, has ready undertones, that gray. I have no idea. So I tried to clean up that color and I realized I have to go even lighter. So I went in with the highlight shade that I used under my eye, and I'm just going to sharpen that contour. The reason being, it is too dark. I hate it. It's too dark. So I'm going in there with that light color and I'm sharpening up the contour, and because I already did half my face in that color, I'm just gonna bite the bullet and go through with it. I know a lot of people like very dark contours, but I particularly don't like it. I used to do it, but then for whatever reason, I stopped. And now I'm just, contouring up my face and giving my cheeks a little pop. And I'm still seeing some of my marks, but that's the foundation that I have. If you girls have MACs, I guess you can color correct if you want, but my best advice to you is to just invest in a good foundation. Now I'm going in with my blush. This blush is a NYX blush. This was purchased at Acute Cosmetics. It's called Bordeaux. And I love a burgundy blush. Man, I love a blush. Now, looking at this, I'm realizing that this Heavenly Honey does not match my skin tone. It's very pink. It's very pink. I'm seeing a lot of pinkness, but it's the only shade that Black Opal has. That's my color, but not my undertone, unfortunately. I know they say the rich caramel has yellow undertones. No, it do not. It has some weird grayish undertone. So I just applied my highlighter from Ruby Kisses that I purchased at Kismet for $24. Very cheap. And now I'm going in with my Absolute New York eyeliner pencil. No, it's not eyeliner, it's lip liner pencil. Very gel-like. And I'm going in with a Nicka K Hydro lipstick. And I didn't want to go too red with this because I wanted to show you how you can do a nice red lip, but a daytime red lip. And I'm just setting my face. I usually set my face with my Sasha setting spray that I purchased at Accessorize Plus. But today, because this is Black Opal, girl, I don't want to take no chances. So I use my MAC Fix Plus. And I'm using my Real Techniques Beauty Blending Sponge that I got from Accessorize Plus as well. And Accessorize Plus is not actually a store. It's just an